As Dixon of Dot Green would so famously say, evening all. You all right, everybody?
Yeah.
Jens, hello, Alan. Welcome to
Hello, mate. Hello.
bit of an impromptu show tonight. I was just saying to the guys backstage, with all the doom and gloom around all the games being cancelled and all the streams just talking about COVID non-stop, we thought we'd actually have a football pod tonight. So with the news today that Christian Eriksen's contract has been ripped up with mutual consent with Inter, and the little video they put out of his highlights in his show. I was saying to Jens, compared to the highlights package he's got for us and the large part he's played in our recent history over the last 7 years, I think Christian deserves a tribute show. So with that in mind, me and Jens put together a little list earlier of our favourite Christian Eriksen moments. I've just quickly scrabbled together a Christian Eriksen quiz as well for Jens. So, but it's on Tottenham and Denmark, Jens. So you should do all right just from your standing knowledge without having to do any research. After last week's quiz, when you're like, don't care, don't know. Going to bed. Not interested.
I was
not interested.
Yeah, sorry.
It was brilliant. No, it was brilliant.
It was lovely watching you from the sunboard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Walk from Tenerife.
Comedic value alone for Jens reaching the end of his tether with tiredness was great. For those who haven't seen it, watch back the end of the last week's podcast. It's like Jens, you want to have a guess? No. Jens, you want to have a guess? No, going to bed. Piss off. Not interested. It's quite funny. It tickled me.
So
anyway.
Rebellious.
He was, yeah. He's like he reached the end of his Danish tether.
Yeah, just tired.
Got a lot of comments and people watching already, so let's go through the comments quickly. I don't know how my pronunciation, I can't even say that right, let alone people's names. Pronunciation of these names is going to be Akrud, UK Rudd.
UK Rudd.
Yeah, that would do. He's watching. Jens, I'll leave you to this one. Dave, our favourite. This weirdo here, Danish fella living in Holland. Dave's back, asking where we are because we started a lot. Sean, live from his tent in America. What part of America it was in?
Beat the Troll.
Yeah. Albuquerque. There's the Dane again, and we've got a Canadian.
Yeah.
Cody Max
How's the beard
says,
going, Cody?
Yeah, the rebuild process. I don't know what's going to be completed quicker, Cody's beard or the Tottenham defensive midfield. Cody says players like Eriksen are rarely appreciated in the manner they deserve. The complete package and a player whose departure, discontent, accelerated the demise of the squad. Absolutely, Cody. That's one of the things that we were saying. Well, I watched that Inter video earlier, and I thought, despite him winning the title with Inter, he had any highlights, and I was thinking, compared to the large contribution he's made to us and how we've missed him since he's gone and the way we loved him and stuff, I think it deserved a tribute show from us as we sort of discuss where he's going to go next. There's talk of me and Jens were saying there's talk of a return to Ajax. I'm sure Don Levy would take him back as a coach to Tottenham. Jens was saying that he thought it might have been a bit of an acrimonious departure when he left, but I was saying from the All or Nothing documentary, I think Levy loves him, doesn't he? He didn't want him to go.
Yeah,
and
I still haven't seen it. So.
He really did like him. That's why I said I can't put it past it. Levy trying to bring him back. Obviously, the insurance implications are going to be difficult, aren't they, with the heart halter thing that he's wearing?
Well, they should ask Ajax about how they did it with Blind.
Yeah, Blind's there, isn't he?
And but also there's been some rumours in Denmark that he might be going back to Årby, which is Odense, which is where Hans Christian Andersen came from. I don't know if you know him. He was a famous children's writer. But that's the closest to where he comes from, the closest big team to where he comes from, which is Middelfart. I'll let you giggle among yourselves. I think he's training with them at the moment.
He's been training with them, hasn't he? So
yeah.
But if Daley Blind carried on his professional career, didn't he? So there was a precedent there. So I was saying to Jens, wasn't I, that a lot of the elite sportsmen that were coming to the end of their career, when they had that little break with COVID, that they just sort of reinvigorated them, didn't it? It showed them like Nadal and Federer and people like that, and showed them how close they were to the end of their career, and they just wanted one last hurrah kind of thing. So maybe Eriksen will be in that camp.
I don't want to
Go
see
on,
him
Alan.
over the last hurrah, though, mate. I mean, I'm worried. I'd be worried. I wouldn't want to be in that ground and see him collapse. You know what I mean?
They won't put
But
him in
that's the
danger,
thing with
Alan.
this AED, which they actually put in your heart. If the heart does have a problem, then it restarts it automatically. So I don't think that would be the case. I mean, yeah, obviously the Dutch league is not as fast as the Premier League, but Blind has had no problems since he had it put in.
Hello, Mark, as well. No Spurs football. Might have to talk to women now. A bit boring. But the amount of people that are devastated.
Introduce yourself to your wife, mate. Yeah.
The amount of people that are devastated about the Christmas break, you know, because they might have to speak to family and stuff. We need our Boxing Day football for the international viewers out there. We love our Boxing Day football, don't we? It's part of our tradition. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The Premier League is setting it up perfectly for next month, and they all the top teams have got their players going on the FCON competition.
Yeah.
So they could mostly say, "All right, we'll have January off. Make sure you come back all refreshed and all that, and don't miss any of the important games."
Well, they can't. I mean, you keep getting people calling for what do they call it, a circuit break. But I think Harry Redknapp said last year that these players are such elite level, you can't just expect them to isolate away from their families for 2 weeks over Christmas, because it takes them another 2 weeks to get back up to scratch as well. Because then you're looking at a month away, aren't you? Their fitness and everything, they're going to have to get back up to scratch, or they're going to be getting injured and stuff. So they can't have a break. And there's so many billions on the line, isn't there? With it, if you know what the government are like, if they stop it, they'll make it really difficult for them to start again. So I imagine the Premier League, and Daniel Levy will be the heart of this. He'll be putting procedures and stuff in place for it to carry on.
Yeah.
And Dave has come up with another comment here. Blind is a left back as well, so it is a tolling position.
He plays centre back for Ajax or defensive midfield. He used to play left back, but he hasn't played there in a while.
All the greats end up at centre back. That's where I'm playing at the moment.
I play right back. I play right back in the dressing room.
Even
about the orange segments.
Lazier guys, I play sweeper as well. So I just not as much tackling.
I have to say, Scott, I think that's one of the only times I've ever seen you be positive about a player.
Who is it that Scott hates, Jens?
Lucas
Moura.
Absolutely can't stand it.
What happens, Scott? What happens when you watch the Ajax game, the semi-final? Do you just sit there on a grump in the corner like Eeyore or something from Christopher Robin and Eeyore? Go on, Alan.
I was watching the clips of Eriksen. When you sent me the message, I watched a few clips of him. And if you look at Eriksen and then you look at Dele Alli, I wonder where Dele Alli's gone wrong. Because I'll tell you something, I think 90% of his assists were for Ali goals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Ali ain't been the same since, really.
No, picking him out with those late runs into the box. We haven't been the same, have we, since?
No. Ain't too many easy to find.
Scott says if we keep talking about the Poch era, you'll see plenty of positive comments from me. Poch loved Lucas Moura. That was one of his final signings, wasn't it?
Well, no, it was Ndom Bailey and Lo Celso. Thanks for that, Poch.
Yeah. We'll blame the scouting department for that. Hitchin. That was Hitchin. Hitchin failing.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I hate the transfer window. Yeah. Fucking director.
And it was the January transfer window, in even more specifically, that you hated. So that bodes well. So let's hope Paratici doesn't hate it as much as Hitchin.
I can't see a lot happening, to be honest with you.
I saw someone mentioning that Paratici oversaw a couple of terrible transfer windows at Juventus, and they're still trying to sort it out. I didn't realise that. Is he really that bad? Are Juventus? Have we made a big mistake? Is he not the Don, and now he's a con?
Was that Tommy by any chance? He hates him, doesn't he?
No, there's another guy on Twitter. I don't know who he was.
Was it? Didn't he work better with that Morata? It was Morata or something.
It's probably Hitchin on a burner account to try and keep his job, wasn't it? Leave you thinking, I better keep Hitchin just in case.
Fucking bastard, right? I'm going to see him up.
Unless it's Aaron on one of his 56 accounts, just trying to stare at.
Winky.
Winky.
Oh.
Yeah, the winky. I think Cody's nailed it here. Scott M. Scott's the Moora section. He doesn't want to protest too much about his love for him, so that's why he's pretending he doesn't like him.
Oh, God, you've opened a can of worms now. God,
I think he's got you there. Cody's nailed you there, Scott. Not literally, but before we get on to the Eriksen loving, obviously regular viewers will be screaming at their screens. What about Spurs on this day in history, John, in your special book? We've got a couple of good ones today, as we have every week. We've got 1960 or 1993. What are we going for? We have
60 would be better, probably.
It was, funnily enough, the very first line. Spurs, Saturday the 17th of December, 1960. Spurs stay top of the league by defeating Everton at Goodison Park. On a foggy day in Liverpool, it's the visitors who dominate the match, with John White opening Tottenham's account. Les Allen doubles the lead a few minutes later. Everton reduced the deficit, but Dave Mackay restores the 2-goal advantage on the hour mark, putting the game out of reach for the home side and sealing a 3-1 win. Boom.
Alan, did you ever see John White play live?
No. I didn't start seeing 73. I seen my first game.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, right.
So,
I wasn't.
I'm not that bloody old.
On. That was a bit nasty. But no,
I know I look.
Tottenham calendar works from Kevin, doesn't it? Kevin before Kevin, before Tottenham, before Kevin. BK.
I've heard so much about John White, and
my granddad always said that John White was the best player. He was a West Ham fan. He said he was the gem of that team. To be honest,
really?
He made us tick. He said he was a creative player. Yeah,
I read his book.
He loved.
I read
the Ghost of White Hart Lane.
The book by his son. Very sad way to go.
Yeah, he said he was different gravy.
I watched Kevin's first appearance, and everything he went on about his first away game and his first way out of London, and I'm thinking, Yep.
I was there.
No point in me coming on and talking, really, because I had done exactly the same. First away game in London was Arsenal. First away game was Ipswich. You know.
Can you do weather reports though?
Yeah,
no, exactly.
No.
No, that's because you're in sunny Hertfordshire. So sun always shines over there.
If I could do weather reports, I wouldn't have gone to Tenerife last week.
You constantly hitting your head on inopportune moments, and
things falling down behind you.
Hello, Kev. We love you, really.
Yeah,
I don't know if his internet's back up and running. Is the storm?
He said he's not very well. He said he's not very well, so he's not coming on. So.
I feel sorry for taking the piss out of you now.
Sorry, Kev.
Sorry, Quivan. Is it Quivan? Who did we ask about that? One of the Irish streamers. They said, never heard that before in my life. It was the young guy that does the two Brians, wasn't it?
Don't know. Matt Hayes?
No, not Matty Hayes.
Oh, okay.
He watches our stream. Anyway,
Adam.
Adam's.
Okay.
We said to Adam about Quivan, didn't we? Like, apparently Quivan's the Irish for Kevin. He's like, never heard of that before in my life. Adam Clark. Yeah, Cody's right. 1993. As you predicted, Jens, it didn't go quite as well for Spurs that day. December 1993. 6 goals are shared with Liverpool at White Hart Lane. The Spurs fight back from being 3-1 down against the Reds. Vinny Samways gets his first of the season to give the home side the lead going into half-time. However, it's fucking brilliantly Spurs. However, within 9 minutes of the restart, Liverpool had scored 3 times, forcing Spurs to attack in order to try and salvage something from the game. Mickey Hazard and Darren Kasky managed to do just that with late goals as Spurs rallied to take a point from a pulsating game. How have we gone from 1-0 up to 3-1 down within 9 minutes?
Darren Kasky. And what? Mickey Hazard must have been in his mid-30s by then as well, I would have thought.
Yeah, Hazard would have been. Yeah. It was when he came back, wasn't it?
Yeah. I had big hopes for Darren Kasky, Scott Houghton, Rory Allen, Neil Fenn, all of those boys. Yeah, they all let me down.
I've been reading the old Hoddle book, like while I was on holiday last week. And one of the mentions was the famous man. You say about 3. How can you go from 3-1? Oh yeah,
1-0 up to
Man
3-1
United.
down.
Man United 3-0 up.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there thinking, "Come on, you Spurs, come on." And then I sat there, and then when I left the ground, I was like, every car I seemed to be parked up in traffic with was a Man U. And it was like,
Yeah, I remember you saying.
No, yeah, they were probably Tottenham fans when they went to the stadium and Man U fans when they left.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Hoddle documentary on BT? Anyone?
No.
They aired it the other day. It's brilliant. It showed lots of
I'm
clips that we haven't seen before and stuff. They've gone through the archives. Lots of passages of play of him playing for Tottenham, Monaco, England. His debut for England was brilliant. Some of the things he did on
Goal
his
against
debut.
Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Scored a goal
And he
against
said,
Bulgaria.
Alan, he didn't get picked again after that. He said he was man of the match, played brilliantly, and then it took him another 3 months to get his next cap.
How many caps did he get in the end?
53, I think it was. 53,
53, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it was less than that.
No,
because
but
they,
it still
they
should
always
have
said
been,
that,
it should have been a lot more.
Should have
he's
been
a
double
luxury
that.
player.
Yeah.
You know, as Daddy Blanchflower said, the luxury players are the ones who can't play football.
That's what Hoddle said in the
That's what
documentary.
he told.
He said,
and that's what he said in the book. Yeah, in the book.
Luxury players are the ones that you have to carry through the game because they're no good at football, not the ones that are creating and scoring goals and
like
bringing
me.
you forward. Yeah.
I was there when he actually got his first booking.
Hoddle.
Yeah, we played Swindon away in the cup. I don't know if you ever remember seeing that, like anything about the game where some bloke climbed the scaffolding on the stand.
It's probably Kev.
And we also burnt, most probably, and they also burnt down the program store while we were
Tottenham
there.
fans or Swindon fans?
No, that was definitely Kev. Yeah. he gets cold quite easily, so if it was winter, then
well, it was winter. Yeah.
Queevan on tour, the Swindon away next week. We have to get him to tell the story. Don't let's forget to ask him about
it. Oddle went into a sliding tackle and got booked, and it was like,
that was his first special effect. It's funny. Steve Perryman says as well, talking about style of play, that when he was coming up through the ranks, he was always a creative midfield player. He was like in attacking and going forward. But when he came in as a youngster, he played with a lot of older players and obviously they didn't have the legs about him anymore. So because he was a young guy coming in, he ended up covering a lot of grass, putting a few tackles, and the crowds, started getting behind him because he was getting stuck in and winning tackles. And he said he kind of adapted his whole game because after his first few games, he couldn't go back from that wholehearted, 110% putting in, covering every blade of grass kind of thing. So it kind of the crowd's reaction to him and what they needed from the team at the time, it kind of changed his whole game into the player that he became, which is quite interesting.
Didn't he make his debut when he was 17 or something?
Yeah.
But I think he nearly went off to. I think they nearly sold him early to Nottingham Forest. I think there was talk about saying
he said that on his podcast. Yeah, he decided. Souness buggered off, but he decided to stay and fight for his place.
Well, that's the same with Bale, wasn't it? Because Redknapp tried to shift him to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
I think he did say that Bill Nick wasn't overly impressed that he did, as a young 17-year-old, he'd stood up to him and said, "No, I'm not going. I want to stay and fight for my place." He thought he'd be impressed that he wanted to stay, but he said I think Bill Nick begrudgingly admired him, but he wanted him to go and get experience somewhere. But I think, and then we had some injuries, and he ended up getting in, and the rest is history. Many games later,
good history.
Yeah,
good history. Yeah,
especially history with Forest. That we always seem to have a bit of dodgy dealings with him. When there's some brown envelopes around Teddy Sheringham on the end.
Oh yeah, classy. Yeah.
I thought you meant us chucking him off the bridge into the River Trent. Sorry.
Jens,
that's another story.
You were having an argument in the comments section the other day on one of Eugene's streams, weren't you, about with a Leicester fan? I think, or was it Tommy? No, it was Tommy's stream, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Tommy's stream
about our history with Leicester.
Yeah, I found that quite interesting because as I said, I was on a boat over to Denmark or coming back from Denmark, about 15, 16 years old. Just sat there with my Spurs shirt on, and a group of about 5 or 6 Leicester fans came over and were just giving it, "I hate Tottenham," blah, blah, blah. And they were all in their 20s. So, obviously I took them all out, chucked them through a window, chucked them off there. No, I just sat there and I was like, who the fuck are Leicester?
Yeah.
And when I went to university in Nottingham, and it was the same with the few Leicester fans who were there. They seemed to have a real bee in their bonnet about Spurs. And this guy is saying, "Oh yeah, it's nothing to do with that. It's when you came third out of a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
After 1999 and after
No.
60-61, one of the guys said his dad absolutely hated Tottenham because of the 60-61. But this guy who's 60 has apparently never heard of it. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Me and Gaz had a few issues with them on the train. We got on the carriage full of them, didn't we? And they were just fucking berating me and Gaz.
Yeah,
so I've hated them since that. That was after the season.
That was what I said as well. Is they don't really have a rival in the East Midlands, because the big rivalry in the East Midlands is Forest versus Derby, and they absolutely hate each other. It's like Spurs Arsenal. Whereas Leicester are sort of there or thereabouts, and obviously Forest and Derby don't like them, but there's no real knuckles, so they always seem to be looking for a rivalry.
Yeah.
And that season, when we came third out of a 2-horse race, they were just. It's just the amount of abuse they gave Harry Kane because he went and played there on loan and didn't do very well, and then turned into this world-class striker. And it's like, oh yeah, it's your fault. There's a mentality in that town or that city that I just don't understand.
Absolutely. Going back to this week, in fact, Jens, I mean, it was refreshing to hear Jurgen Klopp say today, did you see the commentator said, do you want to play on Sunday? He's like, of course we want to play on Sunday. It was incredulous that they didn't want to play a game. And that was everyone saying, well, Brendan Rodgers didn't want to play the game. Well, there you go. There's Brendan Rodgers. It was because they had a load of injuries and illnesses, wasn't it? Nothing to do with COVID, that he played the COVID card to get the game called off, because once Tottenham got away with it, the Premier League knew they were on weak foot and they had to let other teams get away with it as well, didn't they? So teams are going to use it.
Yeah, half the games are cancelled this weekend already, aren't they?
Yeah, so they're going to use it disingenuously, aren't they, to get a break?
I wouldn't be surprised if ours is cancelled.
I don't know. Liverpool seem keen to play it, and Conte was saying we're keen to play it. Conte was really good today. He said we wanted to play the Leicester game. We wanted to play
play Rennes if the Leicester game.
He said we wanted to play the Rennes game. We were quite prepared, but it's other people stopping us from playing them. So it's refreshing to see the elite top level managers, Conte and Klopp, saying we want to play, and not the other idiots like Brendan Rodgers and some of the other clubs using it as an excuse because they got injuries to hide behind.
What, Brendan? I've had my teeth done.
He just says T, doesn't he? T. I love to play the game. I'd love to play the game. We wouldn't love to play the game.
Klopp will have his excuse loaded when he, if we were to get a result. I mean, I'm saying if, because it's quite a big one. But if we were to get a result, Klopp's got his ready excuse. Oh, well, they've had 2 weeks off. They're fresh. They ain't that, do this, ain't that, do that.
But we're always useless when we have a week off,
I just want 3 points.
Yeah. Every time we have a week off and we give it large about, we've got a week to prepare, which is awful because we lose all of our rhythm and match fitness, don't you? You can't recreate match fitness in training. So, and obviously a few of our players are going to be coming off the back of the COVID virus. They're going to be a bit weaker for a week or so, aren't they? So,
well, I was meant to be going, but unfortunately, because of me back, I'm going to go. So.
Hopefully, as I say, Liverpool are keen to play it, so we're hopeful. Back onto the topic of the pod. For the first question, then, before me and Jens made a list of our favourite memories of Eriksen over his time at Tottenham, I've got a few questions for Jens, just interested to know myself. So Jens, in a non-sexual way, when did you first come across Christian Eriksen for Denmark, and what were your first impressions and memories? Can you remember when you first heard about him? And
I first heard about him in the qualifying for the 2010 World Cup. I didn't have what I have now. I had a laptop, but I didn't know about the streams and stuff like that. So didn't really watch them an awful lot, but I heard about him from reports and stuff like that. And then I was in South Africa for the World Cup, and he came on against Ghana, and he was just different gravy to the rest of the squad. He looked so lively. I mean, he was 18 years old then. He was linking up play. He was doing great passes. I think he may have set up the second goal, which was what was his name? Ramadan.
Oh yeah. It was quick, wasn't he?
Dennis Ramadan. He had massively rapid. I don't remember if he played against the Japanese. That was one of the worst football games I've seen from Denmark live. We were absolutely awful. And then I heard it. Sorry.
Did you lose per chance?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we got knocked out of the World Cup.
Oh,
but that was okay because I was going home in 2 days. So I couldn't afford to stay out there any longer. So, but then I heard about him for Ajax. And again, I hadn't really watched him for Ajax, but I heard a lot of Ajax fans saying that he's very inconsistent. And I remember saying to you when we signed him, I'm not 100% sure about this. I think he's a bit inconsistent. And I don't think he really tore the league up for the first 6 months or something like that.
Leads me on to the next question. Can you remember when you heard he was signing for Tottenham and what you thought at the time?
I don't remember the exact date, but I was very obviously happy because a Dane was signing for Tottenham, but also a little bit unsure because I'd been told how inconsistent he was.
Yeah.
And I think he was for the first maybe 6 months or so. Didn't play particularly well. I can't remember the exact game that he turned it around, but it's very possible that it was against Southampton. And I think he scored 2 goals when we were 2-0 down, and we won 3-2, which I think is on the list that I gave you. And then, all of a sudden, for the next maybe 2 or 3 seasons, if Eriksen had a half decent free kick, you thought that was going in. Now, maybe the 2 seasons before he left, you thought, yeah, okay, mate, you couldn't score in a brothel. But
having said that, his last parting gift for Tottenham was a direct free kick against Norwich. It was Norwich, I think. I've got it down. So it was on the 31st of December, but when he left in the January, and his last game for us, he scored a direct free kick.
That was the first one for 2 years or something.
Yeah, probably
must have been. So
he scored 2. He scored 2 against Swansea.
Yes,
in the same match.
Yes,
and after that, it took him that long to score a free kick that went over the wall. He scored a few that went below, didn't he? Against Juventus.
He couldn't get the corner past the first man.
Yeah, exactly. That was
Alan, let alone free kick out of the wall.
That was a major problem. Yeah.
Everton, he scored.
And the next point is you kind of led into it already, Jens. Do you think you were harsher, tougher on your demands on him because of those rumours of the inconsistency because he was Danish, or do you think you? I don't personally think you gave him an easier ride because he was Danish. I think maybe
I definitely gave him a harsher ride.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was pretty much at every home game, and so I had a lot of people saying to me, "Oh yeah, so how's this guy going to do?" And I said, "Well, I think he's inconsistent." I didn't want to build people's hopes up, and I also didn't want to build up my hopes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was definitely harsher on him, and I think I was the same with Alan Nielsen as well. Alan Nielsen never really pulled up that many trees apart from that goal against Leicester. But
another one, yeah. I used to like it. He was a good player.
Yeah, so did I. He was skillful. I remember going to see was it Soccer Sevens or whatever it was. A few seasons. What was it? It must have been about 9 or 10 years ago now. And the Tottenham team came out. I think it was Jason Dazelle, Kevin Dearden, something like that. They all came out with bellies as big as fucking elephants. And Alan Nielsen comes out still as slim as anything, still as skillful as anything. We lost, I think, 5-0 to Arsenal and 2-1 to Chelsea. And then I stormed out. But
did Alan Nielsen play against Inter when we had the Legends game at the opening?
I think he might have done because he looked the same sort of slimness then, didn't he? Like again.
Yes, yeah. I think I have a feeling he works for. I think I said before he works for the Danish FA, but I think he actually works for Danish television covering football.
Yeah.
Now. So he probably talks as much shit as Carragher and Neville put together.
They can't talk worse. You can't talk worse shit than them two. No.
Yeah, good player, Eriksen. Wholehearted, wasn't he? He had good engine on him. It must be all that screw.
Yeah. All that and he was quite skillful as well. Probably should have scored a few more goals, but
He went to Watford, didn't he, afterwards?
yes,
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And played quite well there as well.
yes, yeah.
We've always got to have a token Dane in the team, haven't we? Didn't we? After Eric Nielsen, did we have one until Eriksen came? Or
No,
no?
not that I can remember. No,
Got to have a Dane.
I'd definitely like to get Damsgaard.
With his receding hairline. How's his hairline holding on? Has he lost it even further now? Is it?
I'm not sure. You know, it must be tough playing in Italy. You know, so.
Who does he play for?
Sampdoria.
So that leads us to so when we knew we were going to be talking about Christian Eriksen, I asked Jens to make a list of his favourite memories, just in no particular order here. I'll try and put them in date order if I can.
Yeah, but this is the thing; it was all quite rushed.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I had to look up, and I can't remember every single goal, but.
Here's the first memory from Jens, and Jens's memory. These are the time of our lives. We need a jingle. Right. This one, 2-0 down to Southampton in the 2013-14 season. Eriksen scored 2 and set up the winner. Jens, your memories of that one? Apart from what it obviously says on the screen.
I think one of them was a free kick. And I believe that he set up. Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure. As I said, I thought we should put the YouTube.
Yeah, we're not
goals
allowed.
up so I can. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, So I kind of browsed through Google, and I have vague memories of this, but I can't remember exactly how he scored or who scored the winner. Alan, your memory is probably better than mine.
Yeah, Colin put up a video of Dembele the other day, and he got a load of copyright strikes, didn't he? So we can't do it without getting in trouble from YouTube. Yeah, he got in a lot of trouble. He had like 16 copyright strikes. So it's dodgy. Yeah. Alan, can you remember that one? 2-0 down Southampton. Eriksen scored 2. I've
got to be honest with you, lads. I've missed so many games over the last 30 years, in a sense. You know what I mean? I've had season ticket for 2 years. And it's just been a case of going when I can and whatever.
Right.
So, and occasionally getting the stream up.
No, I'm pretty sure I wasn't. I'm not 100% sure I was there for that game, but I remember watching it on the telly box.
Jens, your memories of this next one, 2014 against Hull. Scored
I have a feeling that was a free kick.
I think that's one I put up, isn't it? Yeah, it was a free kick. Yeah. Great goal.
And that was, Hull had been down to 10 men for something like 80 minutes or something, and they were defending for their lives, and we couldn't get past them. And then Eriksen steps up this was back in the Pochettino days of when we used to win matches in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
from Poch fit to Conte fit. This one was another late winner. Only Tottenham. We nearly fucked this up, didn't we? We drew Sheffield United in the semi-final, didn't we? And then fucked up the home leg. We had to go up there and pretty much win, didn't we? Everyone was saying, Tottenham had drawn Sheffield United. I think they were even in Division 1 at the time, weren't they? They weren't even in the Championship.
Yeah, no, they were champions.
And he scored,
they were championship
goals, didn't he?
Yeah.
But he scored the first one, and then Che Adams got 2 in 2 minutes.
That's it, yeah.
And it really looked like we were going to get spanked, but he got a late
free kick, wasn't it? That when he whipped it.
But that was the first one, wasn't it? The first one was a free kick, and I think it was a left footer on the edge of the area, I think, or the box.
Basically carried us through that game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely did.
Yeah.
We would. I just meant, they got 2 goals in about a minute, didn't they? Just when we went 1-0 up, didn't we? We thought, we found with nice easy game, typical Tottenham, innit? We'll do things the hard way. Like everything was nice and calm. We just got 1-0. We're going to go out through, and then they scored 2 goals in a minute, and Eriksen had to step up and rescue us again.
And then I was in the gods for the final against Chelsea, and he hit the bar, Eriksen. I think 20th minute or something like that. But after that Chelsea took over, and I think they beat us 2-0. But
Drogba scored a goal that deflected off one. It should have been a goal, really, but
Yeah, we did all right, didn't we? Next one, Eriksen saving us again, that Man City game when he scored the late winner. Yeah.
That was a beauty. Wasn't it?
Lamella
Lamella run.
Lamella poked him in, and he The scenes behind the goal were amazing, weren't they? That's one of the years we were
almost as good as when Crouchy scored that winner to send us into the Champions League for the first time.
Although that was a penalty. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy when Spurs get a penalty, but really, that was it. Sterling, wasn't it? Or something? He jumped up, turned his back, and hit his arm on the back, and he had his arms down the side. And of course, that put us 1-0. And then
was it Trippier clipped it up and it hit him on the arm?
Sorry, which game's that?
That was against Man City when we won 2-1. We got a penalty, didn't we, or something to make it 1-0? We was 1-0 down, I think.
I think Trippier or Walker clipped it up, and it was quite fortuitous.
Was Sterling there in 2016?
Yeah.
Was he? Okay.
I'm sure he was.
I thought he was at Liverpool then.
Dave, Lamella's always been good. You're preaching to the wrong crowd here. We love Lamella.
Man.
If everyone gave as much effort and desire as Lamella, you wouldn't go too far wrong, would you? A team of Eric Lamellas. Yeah. At number 1 is Eric Lamella. Number
2 is Robbie King.
Where do we get to? Another. Here we go. Oops. Here's one I think you alluded to earlier. The Swansea game.
Yeah, though it was. I think we were 1-0 down to, was it the 88th minute or something? And then we got an equaliser, and he scored the winner in injury time. And I seem to remember it was an absolute perler. He ran along the edge of the penalty area. There was thousands of Welsh blokes trying to tackle him, and he ran along the edge of the penalty area, and he just curled it into the top corner. And that was when I remember when Eriksen got the ball in that kind of position, you thought that's going to be a goal, because he would run along until he found an angle and then curl it into the bottom corner, top corner, left-hand corner, whatever. I think that was when he was at his peak.
Yeah, 16, 17. That takes us on to 17. I'm not sure which of there's 3 goals in 17 that we come up with between us. It's the first one in no particular order. Jens, this was your one, the game against Real Madrid at Wembley.
Yeah.
He put the icing on the cake, didn't he, with the third one?
Yeah. I wasn't there, unfortunately, and I'm not really sure I remember an awful lot of the match because I have a feeling I was in the pub. He was. I think he stood out that day. That he was really running the show against one of the best teams in the world at the time.
And Moussa Dembele kicked Sergio Ramos, didn't he? That high foot.
That was highly amusing.
Nailed him, wasn't he? Yeah.
Jens, even Winky played well that game.
Well, yeah, that's very true. I think that's where he built his reputation from, and it's gone downhill since.
That was Winky's summer in Provence, wasn't it? That was that game.
Yeah.
Did well.
Summer in Provence. Like it.
This one is one I added up, Jens. The Palace game when they parked the bus against us. We were going for the league that year, weren't we? And I remember it was a midweek game. It was a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and it was away at Palace, and we were trying to break them down. They basically parked the bus, and then late on, Eriksen scored from about 30 yards. He just, one of his usual goals, shifted it and shot the skidder that went past the keeper from 30 yards to keep us in the title hunt at the time. It was a beauty.
Yeah. Was that the same game? Was that the same game as Ali got his?
No, this was only 1-0. It was a proper late.
It was an Eriksen header for that Ali goal, wasn't it? Eriksen headed it across to him, and then Ali flicked it up and banged it. Here's a question for you: how many headers did Eriksen score for Spurs?
1. Yeah. 1 header on the line.
That was it. Yeah, it was right on the line. That was a pretty good goal. Actually, I was watching. I subscribed to something Tottenham in history on Twitter, and they were showing a game yesterday where Rule Fox scored from a header.
Jesus, 5'4", Rule Fox.
Lovely ball from Chris Armstrong over to Teddy Sheringham. Teddy Sheringham lobbed it over. Rule Fox was there on the line.
Just finished his dinner on the line. This is one of yours. 2017 against West Ham. He scored 2, but Harry nicked one of them. Yeah,
well, that was the game when basically the ball went in, but Harry claimed that he touched it. Where you look at the replay, I think that might have been the start of sort of a little bit of Eriksen was a bit pissed off that Kane was trying to nick his goals. I couldn't see a touch, but Eriksen said, "Yeah, okay, fair enough." Kane was going for the golden boot that season, and so he said, "Yeah, okay, you can have it." But I'm not sure it was.
I used to love Eriksen's post-match interviews. He was such a strange man, wasn't he? His little eye movements and like,
he's very.
He's got his own sense of humour, isn't he?
Yeah, I
He's
would
in his
say
own world.
He's very introvert, which is unlike the way that he played on the pitch. But also, the Danish way is to be humble and not to brag about things. So I think that's that may have been one of the reasons that he came across that way.
Yeah, I remember saying to you at the time, I used to love watching his interviews because you never knew what he was going to say or do, did you? He was like his little funny expressions, and
he had his own. I'm really enjoying it.
He used to have his own little jokes, his own little inner monologues in his head and his little jokes, and no one else understood what he was on about. I was like, what is he on about? What's he on about? But he was like, he'd be chuckling away to himself, wouldn't he? It was funny to him anyway. Next one is a classic. I'm sure everyone watching will remember the Chelsea one when we were 1-0 down. Was it Willie Cavallero's in goal, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dipped that one in off the bar.
Yeah.
Beauty when we finally beat the Rent boys at Stamford
Didn't
Bridge.
Ali score a couple of headers? I think it was.
No, volleys, Ali. That game at Stamford Bridge, Ali got I think it was a couple of half volleys through. I think Dyer put one over, and I think Eriksen might have put one over.
It's that great picture of him in there, giving it all that in front of the Rent boys. Still does the rounds. In the days when Bamadelli Ali had his name on the back, he was still an Ali then rather than the Deli, wasn't he?
There's one I didn't even realise he changed it. Bloody
because he
doesn't
doesn't
how
like
much attention I pay.
Because he doesn't like his dad basically, so he took his.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's got Deli on the back now, not Ali, because he doesn't want anything to do with his family or that
perhaps
side.
Perhaps he needs to start liking his dad again because he might start playing football again.
Yeah, someone said that coincided with when he started playing badly when he changed his name. He used to have Bamadelli on his boots, didn't he? That's his actual name, Bamadelli Ali.
Yes, yeah.
Bamadelli, Bama,
okay.
Bama.
Yeah. Didn't know that.
This is a good one. I when I was watching the highlights of his goals earlier, I don't know if you guys remember this one. The Everton one on the edge of the area. Everyone went in. It got knocked out to the edge of the area, and he kind of did this cushion sort of volley past everyone, didn't he? Beautiful.
Well, the one,
I
think the one I think it was 2017 at Wembley. Was it 17 at Wembley? That move that led up to that goal. About like one touch football, and Ali clipped it off to him. And then he's siphoned it. It weren't, it might not have been a spectacular goal, but the move that made it, was
that's when we used to be able to do that. With Pochettino, it was
a memory we haven't got any actually. We just remind me of it from Wembley when we beat Liverpool 3-1. He scored the goal after the minute, didn't he, to put us 1-0 up?
Man U 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah, no, it was 11.
Just over 10 seconds. 11. No, he argued it was 10.
Okay.
Remember that one? Yeah.
I think that Spurs commentator bloke, he says, and what does it feel like getting a goal in 11 seconds? And he said, I thought they told me it was 10.
I bet he had a little chuckle in his little monologue in his head again. Then after the Wembley season, that takes us to Eriksen's last season. Even though he was leaving and he didn't get picked, did he? Because there was rumours of that argument with Jan Vertonghen and Black Eye and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He still scored some good goals that season. I was just looking. There's one against Cardiff. Don't know if you remember this, where he did a little flip flap at the end edge there. He got the ball and he sort of did this little bit of skill, and it took both defenders out of the game. And then he wrong footed the keeper and put it in the corner. You'll have to anyone watching check out his Cardiff game. It was beautiful. He just completely mugged off two defenders with a little bit of skill, and he scored from outside the area. The 88th minute at the new stadium, we're struggling with Jose's first year, wasn't it? Yeah, we're struggling to break him down. We were playing awfully, weren't we? Absolutely crap.
Yeah.
And then he came off the bench to dig us out of trouble. They didn't want to pick him, did they? Because he was obviously leaving at the time, but I had no option but to put him on because we were stinking the place out. The crowd were getting on the players' backs, weren't they? And then he scored a beauty from range to win us that one. And then, as I mentioned earlier, his last game before he left, one of his last games, I don't know if it actually was, but direct free kick. He left us with a memory of a direct free kick against Norwich.
I missed that.
up and over
Which
the
must
wall.
have been the first one in 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, it must have been,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It must have been.
Well, it went
I
over
think
the ball, yeah.
It's a shame that the last maybe season and a half, how his performance dipped so much. As I said to you, I think it's maybe something similar to Wayne Rooney. Started so young, blew up the scene, maybe not as much as Wayne Rooney. And then when he got to sort of 28, 29, or 27, 26, 27, 28, it was just burnt out.
Didn't he play one season? Didn't he play one season where he was actually injured from near enough the whole season?
Oh, I'm not
And
sure. I didn't
he had something about a groin strain or something, or some sort of strain,
Okay.
and he played through it the whole season. And he still
Really?
and he's still covered more yards than most players on the.
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, every week he ran the most for us, didn't he? Which you wouldn't
Yes. Yeah.
traditionally thought. When he often had to play off the right or the left, didn't he? Because Dele Alli used to play in the number 10 position.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
Dembele and Wanyama or Dembele and Dyer, and he'd play off the right or the left. I think maybe we're doing him a bit of a disservice, Jens. It's similar to Pochettino. They'd invested so much time and emotion into, building and going for the leagues and the Champions League, and then it was that season after the Champions League which Eriksen's kind of a depression kind of went over him and Pochettino, wasn't it? Because we'd invested so much in this build, and then we'd got to that Champions League final, and then we hadn't quite got over the line again.
And then everyone was deflated.
Yeah, everyone was deflated. It took him a while to get over it, and ultimately he didn't like the direction the club was going, like we've seen with Harry this year, and he decided he wanted to leave and have a new challenge. It's quite evident from that All or Nothing documentary that it's nothing to do with money. Levy said to him, "Look, we've always said to you, Christian, if we'll match any offer you get financial, so we don't want it to be a financial decision for you." But he said, "No, it's not. It's a football. Just want to try a different culture, a different challenge, maybe it was a bit flat for him at Tottenham after that Champions League final. Players leaving, Pochettino had gone. He was a big part of it, wasn't he?
I think he was quite good mates with Simon Kjær as well, who plays for AC Milan. So maybe he said, "Why don't you come over to Italy and try it out?" But he went to the wrong side of Milan.
Yeah.
Is he the one that saved his life on the pitch? Like started
Yes.
the rest?
Well, yeah, he was the one who started the CPR, and then the one who organised the players to stand around him. So,
and consoled his wife as well on the pitch.
Yeah.
That was him, wasn't it? Hasn't he recently said he's retiring or he's leaving Milan? Isn't he? So is he coming back? Is he going back to Holland or Denmark or anywhere?
Who? Kjær?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard about that. He's 32 years old now.
Maybe
he's
Ziggy's
quite a rough and
AC
tumble,
Milan
quite a rough and tumble defender.
Yeah.
So he's had a fair few injuries. I'm not 100% sure how much longer he'll last, but I'm sure he could play out in Denmark for another couple of seasons. I mean, Rafa van der Vaart went out there when he was 34, 35.
Yeah.
It was absolutely shit for Esbjerg for a season, and then he's now assistant coach or something. So,
at the same club, is he?
yes, Esbjerg.
Yeah. Any people watching, if they want to put their comments, if there's any goals or moments we've missed from Eriksen, I'm sure there is. I mean, we just cobbled that together a quick half an hour when we decided to do a podcast. So it's more, off the cuff, just ones that immediately popped into our head. So if there's any other comments from the people watching, put it in the section and we'll read it out and share it. It leads us on to, after those memories, Jens, what do you think the future holds for Eriksen now? As I say, Minter have agreed to mutually terminate his contract so he can leave. So if you're a betting man, if you're a betting Dane, what percentage would you give him for going back to Ajax or coming home to Tottenham?
Yeah, if I was a betting man, then I'd say 35% going to Ajax. Oh, sorry. Do you mean going back to Denmark or going back to Tottenham? Coming back to Tottenham.
To Tottenham.
Oh, okay. I'd say 85 Ajax, 15 Denmark, 15 Tottenham. I don't think he'll come back to Tottenham because I think he still wants to play.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Levy loves him, so I think he would offer him a coaching role if he wanted it. But from all the murmurings, it seems like he wants to carry on playing, doesn't it? So Ajax would seem a natural.
Well said, Dave.
Yeah. That Inter goal was good. Yeah, well done, Dave. Glad you're here, Dave. Yeah, so all the murmurings seem to suggest he's going back to Ajax. You say he's been training with his original club in Denmark, hasn't he, just to keep his eye on?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure he actually started there, but that's the most. I think it's one of the closest. It's between Weiler, Kolding, and Odense. They're all relatively close to each other. Odense is where on the island that he's from, which is Fyn. But then just over the water, back on the mainland, is Kolding and Weiler. But I think they're in the second division.
Is he from like the equivalent of the Isle of Wight in Denmark? Is there lots of little islands? I'd forgive me.
Well, you've got the mainland, and then you've got
is that
quite a large island. Yeah, Jutland. Yeah. Yeah. Then quite a large island which is called Fyn, and then you've got Sealand, which is where Copenhagen is, and then there's shitloads of smaller islands. But he's on the second largest island.
Road trip. Let's go and visit Christian.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, I drove through it the other. We drove through it a while ago.
Oh yeah, you went back.
Went up to my auntie's funeral, and I gave him a wave. Not sure that he saw me. But...
Was there any murals of him on the wall like they do in Ireland? Big short mural.
Because we didn't drive through the centre. We were driving on the motorway, so it was sort of.
It's just round the corner. You missed it. Someone is bound to have done one.
Yeah.
Quite expensive though, Denmark, isn't it, Jens?
Sorry?
It's quite expensive, like to live or in Denmark.
It's not really expensive to live.
12 quid a beer, isn't it? Or something ridiculous.
But the amount of taxes you pay is expensive, but the rate of pay that you get, everybody can basically live comfortably. Right. Even a lot of people can live on benefits quite comfortably. Compared to England, you get taxed massively, but you get paid more. You get more. Right. The government is more into making their people happy rather than making money. Right. How long that's going to last, I don't know, because it seems everywhere in the world the government is now just, we're going to steal from our citizens and we're going to be mega rich, and the rest of them go fuck themselves. So, but yeah.
What's the alcohol situation? Don't they Did you say you can? They're trying to limit how much you drink, and you can get a certain amount a week, or
no.
Is that Denmark or is that Holland?
No, I don't think I haven't heard that before. If you go to a pub, you're going to pay a shed load of money for half a litre or for a small beer. I think you're looking at probably £8 for half a litre. If you go to the supermarket and you buy the local brewery's brew, you can get it for as little as 33p for a 33 centilitre bottle. So it does depend. Going out is expensive. That's why most people stay at home and have a few drinks and then go out about 1-2 o'clock in the morning, have a couple of hours in a nightclub, and then go home. So.
What's the beer of choice out there?
Oh, there's so many.
Is there? Look at your eyes light up.
When I lived over there, I lived in Aarhus, which is where I was born, and they have Sears Royale. I think it's about 6-7%, but it's not like special brew over here, which tastes like fucking treacle and tastes disgusting. It's actually really nice. Then if you go down south, there's something called Fuglsang, which translated is bird song, and that's really tasty. Bird song, yeah, Fuglsang. And then if you go to Sjælland, then you have Carlsberg and Tuborg. And in the United Kingdom, it's piss because it's brewed in Luton or Northampton or wherever it is. But where it's brewed in Denmark, it's actually really tasty. So,
his eyes lit up, Scott. It's like Sinterklaas had come again. What's Skull then? Is that just an English?
Skull's an English beer. It's not Skål in Danish. SKAAL is cheers. Yeah, but they caught on in England and made it SKOL and had put a Viking on the can and put it at 3.2%. So you had to drink 15 fucking pints of it to even feel a buzz.
You had to.
And yeah.
Do you remember beer Dior at Tesco's? It was like 0.05% that's when we first started drinking. We were like 16, 17. We used to get a crate of these beer Diors and like chug through them. And then years later, you realise they're like 0.05%.
No, the one I remember from Tesco's was Norseman. Because when my brother and Danny Newton and all that lot worked down there, there used to be this homebrew from Tesco's called Norseman, which again was like 3.8% or something. And they used to drink crates of it. You get 24 cans of it, and you drink that in a night, and you probably wouldn't be, well, yeah, you'd be a bit pissed. But
drunk on Baby Sham, that lad. Any other questions from the viewers before we move on to the Christian Eriksen quiz, so we can educate you on some of Christian Eriksen's career? If you want to put your comments in the banner there, we'll talk about anything. We're not fussy. Richard said he went to Copenhagen once. Everyone was good looking and spoke perfect English. Is that what you found, Jens? Is English like a second language? Is it?
Oh yeah, it's very good. It's similar to.
They teach it at school.
The more educated European countries. So you go to Sweden, you go to Norway, go to Denmark, come to the Netherlands, go to Belgium. Most people will speak English. You go to France and they're like, oh, you go to Germany, and they're like, Achtung. Yeah, the smaller, more educated countries will always speak pretty decent English. But yeah, the bigger ones who think they're a little bit special, they only want to speak their own language.
And more importantly, were all the women good looking when you went back out there? Was there any not so nice ones? Or was your wife in the room? Can't possibly answer that one. Oh dear, unlucky, mate.
But
Alan, have you ever been to Denmark?
No. Holland, yes, but no, Denmark, no. It's close to
it's not a big tourist destination for the English. It is for the Germans and the Dutch, and because it's very popular in Denmark to have a summer house. And so a lot of people, because the economy is quite great and the middle class can afford to have a second holiday home, usually by the sea. But obviously they're not there all the time, and they can make money out of renting it out. So they rent it out to people from Netherlands. It's very popular in the Netherlands, very popular in Germany, Sweden, Norway. A lot of people will come over and stay in these holiday homes for a couple of weeks. Nice.
There's a famous story, isn't there? Is it a bridge that goes from Denmark to Sweden?
Yes.
And then on one side, I don't know if it's Sweden or Denmark that's bitter. And on one side it says you are now leaving Denmark, you're now entering Sweden. But on the other side it says all they've put up is you are now leaving Sweden. They won't put you are now in. Yeah.
It's funny though, because a lot of the people in Malmo, where the bridge goes into, and it's the same on the Danish side, everybody has relatives in each country, because the history of the wars between Sweden and Denmark. Sweden owned half of Denmark at one point. We owned a little bit of Sweden at one point. So everybody, when they live in those border areas, everybody has family in the other country. So,
and if you just combined to hate the Faroe Islands now, is that how it works? You and Sweden just hate the Faroe Islands. You've got together and thought they're the bad guys.
Iceland,
is it? What did I see about Iceland? I think Yuri that goes on We Are Tottenham TV is from Iceland, isn't he? He was saying I'm sure he's from Iceland.
Okay.
You guys don't get on then. He's tall and bald as well. He'd love each other.
No, we used to. They were one of our colonies, Iceland, same as the Faroe Islands, and so they don't like us because it's a bit like the British Empire,
the Welsh, yeah.
So yeah.
Now, following that broadcast by the Danish Tourism Board, hopefully you're all rushing to go out there and
drink Tuborg and eat bacon.
Yeah. Tuborg, they love a bit of Tuborg at the festivals in the UK now, so that's normally a lot of the main festivals.
It's brewed in England, it's not brewed in Denmark, so it doesn't taste the same, and it's not as strong. It's not as strong either. In Denmark, it'll be about 5%. Over in England, they put it about 4% because, in Denmark, people will drink maybe 5-6 a night. In England, they'll try and put 25-30 away. So that's my that's my
going back to the days for that when you're doing that.
It's quite strong still. I mean, when we used to go to gigs in London, we used to drink get a Crate Tuborg for the tube up there. It's still quite stronger than Carlsberg and Foster's and shit like that, isn't it? And it's got a nice, distinct, strong taste to it. Yeah. Are you ready for your quiz on Christian Eriksen, Jens?
No, I want to go to bed.
Do you want to answer? No. One more guess. Not interested. No, not interested.
No, I didn't say that. I just said
you were like you reminded me of a heavyweight boxer who had spent his whole career like knocking people out to get to the top of the career, and then like Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas. One day he thought, I can't be fucking bothered with this. I'm not gonna. I'll let him win. I've got no desire anymore. Rez had been talking you up on the streams, and then you just thought, fuck it.
And that was the problem because I'm not. If I know what the subject is, if I know what the play is going to be about, then I'll research it and I'll swat it. But if it's something that I don't know about, then I don't know about it. So I don't know why he kept saying, "Oh, Jens is fucking amazing. He beat Brian. I beat Brian because he had a couple of questions like who was the boot cleaner in 1913 and what is Noureddin Naybet's middle name."
Leading seamlessly into the first question of the quiz, sponsored by Brian Daigle. What is Christian Eriksen's middle name?
Danneman.
It is correct. What a name that is.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that from.
Christian Danneman Eriksen. Does that mean like Danish man, does it?
Well, no, if it was Danish man, it'd be Danske man.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure where that comes from, but
maybe he's like the piano man, but he's the Danner man.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd.
Sing me a song, Christian Danner man. We missed out on that song all those years when he was at Tottenham. We could have.
Oh man, maybe you'll come back and sing that to him.
Yeah, he's got to come back now just so we can sing that to him. Sing me a song, Christian Danner man. Eriksen doesn't rhyme with anything. Before we go on, I guess we should say hello to Rez. He's on holiday in is it Luxembourg?
Luxembourg, yeah.
Luxembourg. He did a live stream the other day on.
He was on Eugene's
thing. They're doing driving a car, and Eugene was like, "You in the train?" I was like, "That's a fucking train. What kind of trains have you got? Where you're from, Eugene? It's a car, isn't it?" He kept having to. He's quite swift on the old buttons there, wasn't he? Muting on and off. I'm sure he should be concentrating on the road. But
I was working at the same time and listening.
He looked like a weight was off his shoulders. I've never seen him so happy. I've never seen anyone happier than when we mentioned beer earlier on this stream, and your eyes lit up about the lager in Denmark. 100%. You're on 100% at the moment. 1 out of 1. Question 2. How old was Christian when he made his Ajax debut?
17.
50%. See if you can wrestle it back here. Question 3. How old was Eriksen when he made his Denmark debut?
18.
He was. Do you know how many days over his 18th birthday he was? I've got that information to hand here as well.
123.
No, he was a wee bairn. He just turned 18. 18 years and 17 days when he.
Do I still get half a point for that? Or?
Yeah, no, you can have the point for that.
Oh, okay.
So it can't have been long after he made his Ajax debut that he played for Denmark.
I'm not sure. Did he make his debut at the World Cup? He might well have done.
That's a question. It's a question later on, actually. We'll find out more.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, the plot thickens. In the meantime, question 4 is Tottenham signed Eriksen from Ajax in 2013, but what was the transfer fee?
4.5 million?
Section. Yes, Alan's got it.
What? 11. Oh, okay. Right.
11 million, yeah. He was one of the most costly ones with the bail money, wasn't he? He was one of the fantastic 7 or the
Magnificent Seven.
The Magnificent Seven. That's what the word I was looking for. I don't think anyone could call most of them magnificent, so that's why it's not in my brain as magnificent. Question 5. Eriksen made his Spurs debut on the 14th of September 2013. Who was it against? I was there. I remember it well.
I think I know it. Pressure.
We'll throw it open to Alan if you can't.
Everton.
Alan?
Norwich.
It was Norwich, yeah. I remember he played a beautiful little reverse ball on the edge of the area, didn't he? Like, because we were struggling to break teams down.
Sigurdsson scored.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look, provide an assist for that person who we won't mention because he's currently under police investigation.
Is he in jail now, or is he still out? Or?
I think I said on the stream the other day they don't ever mention him, do they? So God knows, is he in jail?
What's that, Sigurdsson?
Yeah.
Well, what happened there then?
Underage
Apparently
girls.
he's a pedo.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, so it went very quiet because it's an ongoing investigation. But if you notice, he hasn't played for Everton this season. And it was revealed that an Everton player was under arrest for
He's in Guantanamo, isn't he?
talking to underage girls. I don't know what he did with underage girls, but I don't think it's all come out yet, has it? But they were.
I remember meeting him at a corporate do once. Absolutely lovely bloke. Really, really nice geezer. But yeah, obviously he's a bit of a non. Well,
allegedly,
you weren't his age range.
Is that Michael Jackson? He's a lovely guy. He might be a nonce, but he can knock out a hell of a song. That always used to make me laugh. All the Michael Jackson fans defending him. Just because he can fucking sing a song doesn't mean he's not a kiddie fiddler as well. And all the Elvis fans. Elvis, didn't he get together with his wife when she was like 13 or 14? Just because they can knock out a song doesn't mean all of their crimes are,
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly as well, yeah. R. Kelly.
Kelly. R. Kelly.
From R. Kelly. R. Kelly from down the road. Question 6. I can't actually see because my screen here. Eriksen broke the record for the most goals scored by a Danish player in the Premier League with his 33rd goal in a 3-2 win over West Ham on the 23rd of September 2017. However, who did he overtake?
But was that in the Premier League?
Premier League.
In the Premier League?
Premier League, not English football. Premier League era.
A Danish player in the Premier League who scored 33 goals.
32. Eriksen overtook him. Alan, got any ideas? Don't answer.
Yeah, it might. Brian Laudrup?
No, mate. Think down the Seven Sisters Road.
Oh, Bentner.
Yeah.
I was broke out. I was way out.
Lord Bentner himself.
Yeah.
What did they call him, Lord Bentner, Jens?
Because he thinks he's so amazingly special. And as I said earlier, the Danes are not people to. They're a bit more. They're usually quite modest. I must have got my bullshit from my mother, which is English.
Just asking. Didn't Chelsea have a player? Was it Jan Lagerfeld or something like that?
He's Norwegian.
Yeah, they did have Thomason, didn't they? They had Thomason, who we mentioned earlier, wasn't he? Who was the Danish guy? They had the winger.
That was Bjarne Goldbeck.
Yes, quick guy. He was quick as well, wasn't
he? And I remember him. We were 3-2 up, I think, back in '99, or 2-1 up, and he scored an equaliser in the last bloody minute.
Yeah, he was rapid. He was. Eriksen, question 7. Eriksen made his Denmark debut in 2010, but against which nation did he make his debut?
In March? Oh, shit. So that wasn't at the World Cup then?
No. He was 18, obviously, in 17 days at the time.
Yeah.
It was a European qualifier, I think. No, it wasn't. It might have been a World Cup qualifier, actually.
Yeah, it would have been a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah, if you say he played in the World Cup, yeah.
Just before that. I can't even remember what the... Italy?
It's a fascist. It is a clue for you. It's a fascist country who are oppressing their citizens at the moment.
Serbia.
No, it's a recently fascist country.
Austria. Oh,
Austria,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll probably get taken down from YouTube for me making that comment. So
Bloody fascist, bloody communist.
yeah.
I'm doing really well here. Yeah, definitely the king of quizzes, mate.
It's more to, like I said, most of our quizzes we originally started them, didn't we? Just so we can educate viewers on certain players and from our history and from our past and stuff. So it's never a wasted time to impart info on players. So every day is a learning day. Question 8: Eriksen became the 4th youngest player to represent Denmark at 18 years and 17 days. Can you name the 3 who represented him that were younger?
Brian Laudrup?
No, he's not in the 3 actually. No.
Michael Laudrup?
Correct. Number 2.
Alan Simonsen?
Nope.
No.
They're older players. Here's a clue for you from the 50s.
Yeah. From the 50s? Oh, yeah, I don't know then. Sorry.
Yeah.
Laudrup's dad. I don't remember what his name was. But
and his uncle's brother.
They've got famous Danish names anyway. So at 3rd, 18 years and 3 days was Ove Anderson.
Ove, yeah.
Ove. Is he like a commentator or something? Have you heard of him?
No, I've never heard of him.
2nd was Michael Laudrup, who must have played for Denmark in 1982 on his 18th birthday because he was 18 years and 0 days.
Nice.
And the youngest, 17 years and 322 days, was a guy called Harold Nielsen. I wonder if he was any relation to Alan. Who knows?
No, Nielsen's a very popular name in Denmark, so I
wasn't joking. It might be, but you never know.
It wasn't very fucking funny, was it?
No, it wasn't. Jokes are supposed to be funny, aren't they? I'm going about communism and fascism and telling shit jokes.
You
usually tell good jokes, mate.
I don't do jokes. I don't tell jokes. I'm crap at them.
You just regale funny stories. Question 9. On the 4th of June 2011, Eriksen scored his first national team goal. Who was it against? And this was in the Euro 2012 qualifiers, Jens. Oh,
Ireland.
Look who it is. No, one letter wrong.
Iceland,
yes. Iceland. No wonder they hate you. Iceland in their 2012 qualifier 2-0 win. In doing so, he became the youngest Danish player to score in European qualification campaign, 9 days younger than Michael Laudrup. Final question, back to Tottenham then, as this is a Tottenham podcast. A seamless link back to it. Eriksen apparently. I've misspelled his name there. Christian Eriksen made 305 competitive appearances for Tottenham over 7 seasons, but how many goals did he score?
65.
Nearly. I think dirtier.
Dirtier?
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know I'm not sure.
69 then.
Yeah, 69. 69. And that's in all competitions, Alan. His best total was 14 goals in the 17-18 season. There we go. That's all about Christian Eriksen. Nice. Before we move on, do you want to say any more about Christian before we move on?
I think it's a real shame the way that he left us. That last season was not particularly special. A lot of people were slagging him off, myself included. But I will always have fond memories of him because it's always quite a. I mean, I was growing up. I was brought up in England, but obviously have a Danish name, Danish passport, Danish father. So I do consider myself a little bit Danish, and it always made me very proud to have a Danish player playing for Tottenham. And I would have liked him to have left as a bit more of a legend in a lot of people's eyes.
Deserved to be.
I think contextually in time that will come back to.
Yeah,
like today. That's the idea of this thing, to pay him some respect.
Yes.
Pivotal moment in his career. So we've had a bit of time to reassess everything and everything's settled down a little bit more, and there's a bit of distance between it, isn't there? So
Yeah.
we can all talk about it fondly. I said to my brother about this pod earlier, and he said, "I wish." He replied one thing. He said, "I wish we had him now." So, Alan,
there's
your
certain
thoughts
players
on Christian?
There's certain players you just can't replace. You know what I mean? Eriksen was. I mean, I when I first started going, I used to watch Glenn Hoddle. Or a little. He started a few years after. But you know what I mean? When you had that class, that pass, just picked out passes from anywhere, played both feet. We miss him. And people keep saying, "Well, we've never replaced Dembele. We've never replaced Eriksen." But you can't replace them players because they're individuals.
Irreplaceable, yeah.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we're never going to spend the sort of money that you need to buy to buy them, get them. If you can find them.
We have to come up with other solutions, don't we? Because they are irreplaceable. Speaking of his passes, we haven't mentioned on this podcast that pass against Chelsea in the semi-final or the final when he picked out Dele Alli, didn't he, with that beautiful pass?
He done 2 passes that day, didn't he? He set up both goals. He set up Kane's goal.
Yep.
And he set up Ali's goal.
Ali's goal. That pass for Ali's goal was beautiful. If you look at it on YouTube, just to actually see it, let alone execute it as well, to pick Ali's run out. Like you said earlier, Alan, he hasn't been the same, has he, since he's had Eriksen picking him out. Maybe there's no one good enough in the squad to pick out Dele Alli's runs anymore, but we'll be going for another 2 hours if we talk about Dele Alli, won't we?
No, we won't.
I'll be gone in 20 seconds if we start talking about Dele.
And I'll be gone definitely, because I've got certain things to do at 10 o'clock.
Right. One good thing about these games getting called off, that some players I think have played their last game for Tottenham, haven't they? Some of the likes of Dele and that, I can't see them getting in against
Winky.
Liverpool. Yeah, Winky maybe. I don't know. I think he seems to like Winky, doesn't he?
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, he seems to like him. We bought him one, didn't he, when he went to see out the game the other day.
I think it could be a case of he's going to keep Winks unless he can replace him. If he can replace him, I think then he'll let him go. With Dele Alli, it's not shown enough to warrant even getting a chance, is he?
Nah, they've both got to be on Newcastle's radar.
Doesn't care anymore, does he?
No. Nah. To be honest with you, you see YouTube clips of him, and he's doing all this bodybuilding, this, that, and else. You look at Kane. When you look at Kane, he's built himself up since the Leicester days when he played for Leicester. He's built himself up, but it suits him. It's made him stronger. Dele Alli ain't stronger with it. He just hasn't got the pace. He hasn't got I don't know. And as I say, he hasn't got that end ball. I mean, Dyer. If it weren't Eriksen playing it, it was Toby, or it was even Eric Dyer to an extent. Eric Dyer used to have a good partnership with him. But
and what's his name? Danny Rose could cross as well, couldn't he? So
if we're doing a similar thing about Dele Alli in maybe a year or two's time, I mean, he's got a lot of great moments for us, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I was just thinking about it there. I mean, setting up Lucas Moura for the Ajax goal, the goals against Chelsea, he scored in some pivotal moments for us, hasn't he?
Definitely against the Gooners as well.
Yeah.
But I just think what Alan was saying in regards to him building himself up and stuff like that, it's all for Instagram.
Yeah,
just wants to he's just showing off. I think he's fallen out of love with playing football for Tottenham. I'm not saying he's fallen out of love with playing football, full stop.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to be here anymore. I think very possibly he's going out with Pep's daughter, and she's probably saying, "Why are you playing for this shit team? You should be playing for one of the bigger teams." But then again, if he wants to play for one of the bigger teams, he needs to play better. So it's a catch-22 situation, isn't it?
Speaking of daughters, did anyone see Mourinho's Instagram post the other day? He said, because his daughter just won an award, I think she's a fashion designer or something, and he put a picture of her when she was younger, and he said when he was at Man United, I don't know if that Martial apparently sent in inappropriate messages to his daughter, so he had to have a word with Martial's mother, and it soon stopped. He put that on Instagram the other day, because I remember when I was at Manchester and Martial was sending messages to my daughter. I had to have a word with his mother, and it soon stopped.
Oh, that's brilliant. Goes straight to his mother. That is,
That's well played, isn't it, Marino? Well played, Marino.
Yeah. I've never used Instagram.
Roy Keane's quite funny on there. I don't know if he's happy. It's his anniversary of his wife the other day. He cut her off, didn't he? It was like this, and he cut her off. Happy anniversary to my wife. You could just see like part of her shoulder on there. He put something like my current wife. Happy birthday to my happy anniversary to my current wife, or my first wife. I think it's quite funny. So Sunday's game against Liverpool. Score predictions and lineup. I guess our viral hit people are going to be back in contention for this game. Yeah.
I don't even know who actually tested positive. Did you get that in the press over there?
Well, no. It's private medical records, isn't it?
Of course.
We're quite good at that as a club. The other clubs keep shouting out who their players are that got it, but we just say it's private medical records. We're not at liberty to discuss people's, But it's. I think it's thought of. I think it's commonly believed to be Mora, Sonny, Skip Højbjerg, and Reguilon, wasn't it? I believe. which meant we had no midfield last week.
It's a fucking shame that it wasn't Lo Celso.
Ben Davis. Ben Davis is one of them as well. Ben Davis, yeah.
He'll be a big loss.
We'll have to cancel the game on Sunday. We can't go without Ben Davis.
No, he's a rock at the back, isn't he? He is.
The Rock of Gibraltar.
He'll need Reggie with him, won't he? If he's got Salah on that side diving away.
Yeah.
Oh, BT last night. If they could have gobbled down Liverpool anymore, it's embarrassing. And McManaman was refereeing the game. There's like every time there was an incident, he'd go, "No, you're not having a penalty." It was like he had a direct line to VAR. "No, you're not having a penalty for that. No, you're not getting a foul for that." It's like, it's not up to you, mate. It's up to the referee. Like, no, that's not a penalty. No, you're not stopping the game for that. It's like, shut up, mate.
It really makes sense, though. I mean, you've got Mike Dean from Tranmere, which ain't far from Liverpool, and he's refereeing the match. It's like they keep putting Anthony Taylor in charge of Man City and Man United games. Another one from Manchester area.
He admitted he guessed last night when that guy was down. He said he thought it was a shoulder injury, but he hadn't. Afterwards, they said no, they clashed heads, and he's like, "Oh, so maybe I've made a mistake. Then I should have stopped the game."
Maybe.
Yeah.
This is the problem that we have these days. Did you see that dozy cow who does commentary on Sky saying that Harry Kane is our captain and blah 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 because she's an ex.
Oh, Leanne.
Yeah.
And
everyone,
you're going to go quoting stuff like that on a public platform, and you get stuff wrong, and then you're saying, "Oh, you're all calling me names and stuff like that." Well, why don't you just admit that you're wrong, love?
I think all Arsenal fans think Harry Kane's
must
captain.
Be difficult for you.
I was getting messages from my Arsenal fan mates saying, "Oh yeah, your captain's got a lisp and stuff." I was like, "You do realise that Kane's not our captain?" They were like, "What's your captain?" Everyone, I said, "The World Cup, the Nations League."
The guy who speaks French and drinks too much wine.
Yeah. What's he ever done? I could have brought the drink driving into it, but they didn't. They used it as an excuse to start on Harry Kane again, didn't they? And then when I pointed out to him, he goes, one of my mates goes, "Well, I'm sure Harry Kane's captained you against us once." I was like, "Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah."
I think he was captain.
You just carry on with your.
He was captain when Brighton when he injured himself at Brighton when like Hugo got injured at Brighton. He was captain after that for a while.
It's just the media use any excuse to have a pop at him, don't they? Any excuse to have a pop at him. It's not on, really.
Yes,
Just because,
but Boomerang is definitely a model professional, and he's the coolest captain in the Premier League. Apparently, that's what he says. He's the coolest captain in the Premier League.
Well, maybe he's just cool because he's sat on the bench.
He's got a worse receding hairline than I have, but he's got a lot more hair.
I did say to my Arsenal supporting mates, maybe he was, instead of a tattoo he went to get away, maybe he's gone to get his hair sort of transplanted.
Gone over to Turkey to get that done. You can get it really cheap over there, apparently. Our next door neighbour did it.
Mine's fallen out since my first appearance. It's disappeared. I don't know where it's gone.
I was going to say you had a nice comb over before.
It's the stress of Spurs.
No, it was Tenerife.
Fried your hair up.
Yeah, I want a nice brown look, you know. It didn't really work because we only had 2 days of sun.
Ouch.
Who was the guy with the tan in the 60s? Hamilton. Was it George Hamilton? He had the perma tan. Yeah. You're looking very George Hamilton there. What's your score prediction, Jens? First of all, Liverpool game. They've got Van Dijk missing with COVID. Although I guess they could retest him, couldn't they? If he failed the first test, he might come through. Presuming there's no Van Dijk.
2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, that Leanne Sanderson. Firmino scoring. and Salad probably, and Sonny for us if he plays.
I can't stand that guy. He's a cheat. Everyone just licks his arse all the time. They know he's the best player. I just don't like cheats. That's You had to begrudgingly admire Henry for his talent, but when he cheated Ireland out of that World Cup, I've just got no respect for him after that. He's a cheat.
No.
Yeah, people remember these things. They're in the public domain. And Salah, that penalty the other day, he basically instigated the contact, didn't he? Like put his leg into him and then went down.
Tyrone Mings.
Yeah. He's a cheat. And Liverpool fans just go on about Kane every time you mention him diving, don't they? They flip that one back onto Kane as well.
Yeah, but it's like I'm sorry, that was Eric Lamela.
Yeah, it's Lamela. Yeah.
It wasn't Kane. It was Eric Lamela.
Yeah, but
I can't fucking see this.
They were going on about the penalty that he won that we missed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, that bloke said be getting away with Kane's foot. The goalkeeper.
Exactly. Alan, your thoughts on the lineup and the result? What's your score prediction for Liverpool?
I've got a funny feeling it's going to be something like 3-1 to Liverpool. And I don't even ask me for the lineup because, as I say, I'm not 100% sure who's missing or not.
It's like a lot of both teams.
Well, but I only had a browse at Twitter earlier, and they said about players not playing, and the picture they had on there was Loris. And I thought, oh.
No, he's all right. There was someone put a selfie with him the other day. He was out shopping somewhere. Unless the guy giving him the selfie passed on the virus, and he's out now. You never know.
Yeah. No, I think he drinks too much red wine to get COVID.
That's it. Yeah. he's immune. He's immune to it.
I know he likes a drop of wine.
And what about yourself then, John?
Me, I'm an eternal optimist. I think we'll win. Come on.
Yeah.
And they're flying at the moment, aren't they? It'd be typical Tottenham to beat them, wouldn't it? Like everyone's expecting them to stuff us.
I think it'd be typical Tottenham for us to lose 5-0. But
not under Conte, surely. Famous last words. Yeah. He's had enough time to come up with a plan to beat them, hasn't he? I mean, Newcastle cut them open quite a few times, didn't they? Yesterday, or Thursday. It was yesterday. So if we learn from that, they've got players missing, we've got players missing. So odds on that they'll win. But
we'll see. We'll see if it goes ahead as well. So
Klopp seems quite eager to play it. Conte wants to. Obviously, we need to play because we're already 3 games behind, aren't we now? 4 games, including the Europa.
I'm not really 100% sure why people are so excited about that.
What, the Conference League?
It's not, the 3 games in hand, because there's no guarantee we're going to win them all.
Away games as well,
and they're all away.
I would prefer. Someone said, "Would you prefer to have 4 points in the bag, or the 2 games in hand before the third one?" And I was like, I prefer to have 4 points in the bag.
Points on the board,
You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. It's Burnley, Brighton,
Leicester,
and Leicester. Leicester
all away.
Yeah, Brighton are doing terrible at the moment. I would have much preferred to have played them. Yeah,
you get the impression that those teams have done a number on us. Burnley had loads of players missing, didn't they? Brighton had loads of players missing, and Leicester had loads of players missing, injured and ill. But I think they've played the COVID card, haven't they? To escape playing us. But again, it could backfire at them because hopefully we're going to get a good transfer window. You never know.
And also longer under Conte.
Longer under Conte, longer for Romero to get back fit. But they're going to have their players back, but so are we. Be interesting to see. Yeah, so hopefully the game will go ahead. I thought the Leicester game would go ahead, but at the 12th hour, I think they're going to have to bring in a rule, aren't they, where after a certain time, because of people travelling to games and stuff, once you goes past 48 hours ahead of the game, it has to go ahead. Yeah, that's going to have to be in their new rules because it's getting silly, isn't it? Like people travelling up to Burnley, travelling up to Leicester, and then finding out the games aren't on.
Yeah, well, the Burnley game was weather though, weren't it?
Yeah,
that was weather related, snow. And it was,
Man City game was fine though, wasn't it, Alan? A few.
Yes, they played at the same time.
Yeah,
same type of weather. So,
but I'm not being funny though. Honestly, you can go out to the street and you can stand there and it could be piddling down with rain on you, and then just across the road it ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
and that's the way the weather is. I mean, there's I think it was 18 miles between Burnley and Manchester.
Yeah.
Well, if Burnley had the snow before they got it, if Burnley had it, they could have had, they could have had the mainstream of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they could have covered. They could have covered the pitch.
They could have covered the pitch, and we could have kicked off a couple of hours later. It was the early kickoff as well, Alan, wasn't it? They could have kicked
That's
off
what I think they should do. I think
cleared it,
and you saw the Man City game towards half time. It was completely white. They got about 30 guys on in the 15 minutes. It was completely cleared, and it actually stopped snowing then as well. So there was a bit of gamesmanship.
At Tottenham, an hour after the kickoff time, there's bright blue skies ahead, wasn't it? So overhead at Burnley, so they could have delayed the kickoff and.
Yeah, they should have. So if they knew the weather was coming, they should have put the covers on.
Yep.
They should put the covers on and covered it.
But they had 7 players missing, didn't they? So they had no encouragement to play it ourselves. And on that positive note, I can't wait. It's just so horrible not having Tottenham to ruin your weekend, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
As I say, it could be coming along very soon.
Yeah. Hopefully, it'll be back before we know it. Coming back to
but anyway, everybody who's watching, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
And John, would you like to big up your channel?
Well, we're on it, aren't we?
Yeah, it was a joke,
if you want to find Jens,
I'll get me coat.
If you want to find Jens on Twitter, he's Ricky via THFC.
Yeah.
I think that's your YouTube account as well, isn't it? Alan, is that you on Twitter? Is it like
that's 64? Me on Twitter, and that was me on Twitter and on Spurs community, but I don't use community anymore. So
Lighty 64 if you want to interact with the big man on Twitter or Spurs community. If he's left the Spurs community, so you're not going to find him on there.
Big, right? Now, Jens is taller than me, but what's going on with this screen? Because I'm about a foot taller than you lot.
You need to do that thing with your chair. Maybe we could stand up. I've never felt so
you two stand up because I can't get up. I've got bad back.
No, because I slouch.
I've been slouching. I always get bad back when I come off these streams, like cricking my back. I was
going to blame you for getting me bad back in Tenerife because I had a slouch reading on the phone.
What's your?
No, that's John's fault. Nothing to do with me.
That's mine. Yeah. What's your next game then, folks? When are you next over, Jens? What's your next game?
That's a very good question. I don't think that I'm going to be coming over for the Wolves game now. We're not able to come over for Christmas, so I'll probably be going down to Devon in February.
Okay, February time.
So I might try and see something towards the end of the season. We'll see how it goes with this whole COVID stuff and
Some quarantine.
Yeah, your wife's just quarantined you. Most wives want you out of their hair, but you must be doing something right. Yeah. She wants you there.
Apparently, she's got noise cancelling earphones on, but she seems to hear everything.
She'll have to lend them to you.
Absolutely.
Alan,
when's your next game? Which one you originally you were going?
Originally it was Liverpool and West Ham, but until the doctor said that it could take up to 7 weeks for this sciatica to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's for someone that's a little bit more healthy than me. So God knows, I ain't got a clue.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed, mate.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
Let's hope you can find something to sort it out.
Hopefully, I'll be there on Sunday. Are we early kickoff or are we late kickoff?
No, it's
4:30, I think.
4:30,
It's
yeah.
4:30.
4:30, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, should be a good one if we can
Yes.
actually get the
Fingers
game
crossed.
on. Two good teams going at it. Liverpool obviously should win, but it'd be Tottenham to beat them, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
bring in
Well-
Tanganga. He loves a game against Liverpool, doesn't he?
The gutting thing was I was meant to be, because I get a personal assistant to go with me,
Yeah.
and I was taking my daughter with me, and she's only ever seen Spurs lose at White Hart Lane when they showed the game on the screen against Liverpool
Okay.
in the
Wow.
field. But she's never seen the players on the pitch live lose ever.
Send her
been
along,
about-
Alan. Send her
Yeah,
She's
along.
been about 40.
Get her a
she's been
fucking season ticket for the next
Yeah.
10 years.
Just keep her
I
away from
thought-
Dele Alli.
yeah. Well, it's just so happened that she's only been at one game this year, and she went to the Man City game. And I thought, oh, we ain't got a chance in that. I don't know why you're going.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah.
get disappointed. We've
1-1
got no
nil,
Harry
yeah.
Kane. We've got no Harry Kane, and everyone's going to have the ump with him because he had this extra week off and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And, yeah, we won.
Stevie Bergwijn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steffi.
Stevie.
He's
It's
all
gotta
right,
be-
isn't he? I
it's-
think,
it's
although he
gotta
might
be
be
a-
going back to Ajax. There's links there,
Yes,
aren't there? He might
yeah.
be joining up with Christian Eriksen at Ajax.
Yeah, Lo Celso going back to Betis, him going back to Ajax.
I'd do those deals. Absolutely.
The
all
other
day
one
long.
didn't score that
Swap.
game. That was Sonny. Son scored.
He
that game.
played, though, didn't he? Bergvin.
Oh, wasn't it?
Bergwijn
I'm
played,
sorry,
yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
Son
Bergwijn
left
who scored
foot
the
on
winner.
the
That
edge.
was the season
Yeah.
before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, on his
Yeah,
debut,
sorry.
wasn't it?
Yeah, on his debut.
debut. Yeah, I'd do both those deals, get him out of the club. Fortunately, get some fresh blood in. Conte era. Let's get some
Yes,
new
right.
players in and let's go. And on that note, would you like to say goodbye, boys?
Goodbye, boys.
Adios. Adios, amigos.
Sí. 2 cervezas, por favor.
100%.
I don't go there.